In the years before his arrest, Jeffrey Epstein cultivated an image of wealth, influence, and intellectual curiosity. He surrounded himself with scientists, financiers, and public figures, presenting himself as a patron of ambitious ideas about the future. But among the many disturbing details that later emerged about his private life, one claim stood out for its sheer strangeness. According to multiple reports from individuals who had interacted with him, Epstein had expressed interest in creating a program that would spread his DNA by impregnating numerous women. The idea was described as a way to leave a lasting genetic legacy, a concept that shocked even those accustomed to his unusual behavior. This was not presented as a casual remark. Some accounts suggested he discussed it seriously, framing it as a long-term project connected to his fascination with science, evolution, and influence. The notion of deliberately fathering large numbers of children as a personal legacy raised disturbing questions about how he viewed power, control, and his place in the world. Epstein had long shown interest in scientific circles. He funded research, attended conferences, and cultivated relationships with academics. To outsiders, this patronage appeared philanthropic. To critics, it seemed like an attempt to gain legitimacy and status within elite intellectual communities. Against that backdrop, the alleged DNA project felt less like a random idea and more like an extension of his worldview. The concept itself has historical echoes. Throughout history, certain powerful figures have attempted to shape the future through lineage, believing their genes or ideas should endure beyond their lifetimes. But in Epstein's case, the proposal intersected with allegations of exploitation and coercion, making it especially disturbing. There is no evidence that such a program was ever carried out. No confirmed group of children, no formal initiative, no verified infrastructure supporting the plan. Instead, what remains are accounts of conversations, unsettling glimpses into how he imagined his legacy. Yet even as an unfulfilled idea, it contributes to a broader portrait of a man who seemed preoccupied with influence far beyond conventional measures of success. Psychologists often note that extreme wealth and isolation can distort perception. Individuals surrounded by deference and insulated from consequences may begin to see themselves as exceptional or untouchable. In such environments, ideas that would normally be dismissed as absurd or unethical can begin to feel plausible. Whether Epstein genuinely believed in the feasibility of this plan or simply enjoyed provoking reactions remains unclear. What is clear is that he maintained an unusual degree of control over his environment. Multiple residences, private transportation, extensive staff, and restricted access to his properties created a world largely on his own terms. Within that world, unconventional ideas could circulate without challenge. The reported DNA plan also highlights a recurring theme in the case: legacy. Wealth, connections, and notoriety were already part of his identity. But the notion of influencing future generations at a biological level suggests a deeper fixation on permanence. It implies a desire not merely to be remembered, but to continue existing in a tangible way through descendants. For those who later examined the case, the story of this alleged ambition felt like a glimpse into a mindset that prioritized control above all else. Control of resources, of people, and even of the future. It adds another layer to an already complex portrait, one that goes beyond criminal allegations into questions of psychology and identity. In the end, whether the plan was serious, exaggerated, or misunderstood may never be fully known. Epstein's death closed off many avenues of inquiry, leaving behind fragments of information rather than definitive answers. As with so many aspects of the case, uncertainty became part of the narrative. What remains is the unsettling realization that behind the public image of wealth and influence was a private world filled with ideas that many found deeply disturbing. The DNA proposal, whether practical or not, stands as one of the most bizarre elements associated with the story. A reminder that some ambitions are not measured in money or power, but in the desire to leave a mark that cannot easily be erased. For observers trying to understand the case, details like this complicate any attempt to reduce it to a single explanation. Epstein was not just a financier, not just a criminal defendant, not just a social figure. He was also a man whose personal ambitions sometimes drifted into territory that felt surreal, even dystopian. And perhaps that is why the story continues to fascinate. It is not only about what happened, but about what might have been planned, imagined, or contemplated behind closed doors. In that sense, the legacy he leaves is not the one he may have envisioned, but a lingering sense of unease, a reminder that immense power combined with isolation can produce ideas that challenge our understanding of normal behavior. Some mysteries are unsettling because they are unsolved. Others are unsettling because they reveal something about human nature that is difficult to confront. This may be one of the latter,